It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic, and if we talk, na 500,000 they go sama us call am hate speech. But fear not, Mayegun don come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power. Over naira, still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Mayegun don come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Mayegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ìgbádìyẹ. Máyégún máa wí. Ayé sọ́ra jù. Máyégún ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Máyégún máa wí. Ayé sọ́ra jù. Máyégún.
Good afternoon to you and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun Live. Thank you very much for joining us. And please read the caption of the broadcast, the description of the broadcast. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them that Mayegun today, Mayegun is live. Today, the 28th day of December, is the day of our Lord, as the Christians will say, where Dele Farotimi, the now symbol of, symbol of resistance, put it that way, was brought to their court today, and as predicted, indeed, he's been granted bail with some certain conditions. So tonight, we shall reveal the scarecrows, the people who claimed to be powerful, in whose toes Dele Farotimi has stepped. The people that got triggered by the truth that is now so naked in the public. The people who are so scared of the truth that they believe that locking Dele Farotimi up, shutting him down, will be enough to cover their own dirty, stinking nakedness, and as well as their dirty, stinking legacy. Dele Farotimi upset the supposed gatekeepers of the Nigerian judiciary, the man that they claim as the doyen of Nigerian judiciary, Afe Babanla Ule, with the expose in a book that is now the bestseller, Nigeria and its criminal justice system. The book that riled the supposed powerful people in the Nigerian judiciary, and then they decided to validate the content of the book by abusing their power, the power they claim to have. Kidnapped Dele Farotimi 16 days ago from his office in Lagos, bundled him to Ekiti, where they have been holding court, the kangaroo court. So today, where there is no hiding place for them, they finally granted him bail with some certain conditions. So tonight, I am going to paint the scenario of what really happened in that their kangaroo court in Ekiti today. They couldn't hold him that much longer. Even if they really want to, or if they really wanted to, they really can't hold him any much longer. So what happened this morning? Dele Farotimi was brought to court, where the coward the judge, a magistrate judge in Ekiti, that is holding Dele Farotimi illegally under a fake, non-existing defamation law in Ekiti State. We all know that the piper that is dictating the tone of what these guys are doing, we know them. So what happened? A week ago, the same magistrate court judge that denied Dele Farotimi bail was acting upon the dictate of no other person than Afe Babanlaole, the coward old man, a crooked old man who believed that he had a legacy, a stinking, dirty legacy that the Dele Farotimi's book has helped to expose. Indeed. So he adjourned the case till today to hear the bill, the bill application. And what happened today? When Dele Farotimi was brought to court, there were people, it is not like a famous court case to start with. A famous court case that borders on the abuse of the Dele Farotimi's fundamental human rights. Defamation of character has been decriminalized in Nigeria, including Ekiti State. Or the Nigerian police that kidnapped Dele Farotimi 16 days ago, decided to charge him for defamation of character and then remanded him in prison. It is not a custodian offense. Even if he is found guilty, he will either pay fine or what have you. Anyway, this morning, a lot of people, you remember that they were already threatening people, including the lawyers representing Dele Farotimi. Yeah, they are being threatened that they should not come to Ekiti State. Any of them that is coming to defend Dele Farotimi in Ekiti will be dealt with. But the news got to the public, and indeed, people mobilized. So when the court was supposed to sit, the judge, the other staff of the magistrate court developed cold feet, or they were scared. According to them, they said they were scared of the number of people in court. Not just that, the judge at a point actually told the one of the lawyers representing Dele Farotimi, who happened to be a son, that he is not going to be allowed to speak in his court, because why would a son come to a magistrate court? That's what the judge said. And then the clown, right, wearing a wig called George in Ekiti, then told the court that he forgot the ruling on the bail application. He forgot it at home. What the hell is going on? Are you probably going to adjourn it again? Or maybe he sent somebody back home to go and get the ruling. So we are going to go to Ekiti, step by step, how it all happened earlier today. And then we'll get to the point of the ridiculous bail condition that the magistrate gave to Dele Farotimi. Remember, I said it here many times that we have started seeing the shamelessness from those who claim to be working for Afe Babanlaole, instituting different cases, same defamation suit in different courts across Nigeria. This was supposed to be, like professional lawyers, but they are not. They are a bunch of rogues thinking they could use the same corrupt judiciary to intimidate Dele Farotimi and possibly win for themselves some, media accolade, so to say. Anyway, I said that they were going to possibly get a court judgment or something that will bar Dele Farotimi from speaking to the press. Now, this clown wearing a wig in Ekiti has added as part of the bail condition that Dele Farotimi must not talk about this case anywhere. He must not grant a press release, or he must not grant a press, interview, and some other ridiculous stuff he added to his condition. So let's go to Ekiti State. So they brought Dele Farotimi to court around 8 a.m. very early this morning, and the people were there waiting briefly.
Justice for Dele.
Yeah, that was the grand entrance of Dele Farotimi this morning. Their thugs they brought the last time were not possibly available today. And those who were threatening the lawyers representing Dele Farotimi too didn't show up. I mean, the number of Dele Farotimi supporters, outnumbered those who they probably will pay to come and harass the people in courts. Except for the clown wearing a wig called the magistrate judge that started acting funny. At first, it was like, I forgot the ruling at home. What the heck? What do you mean by you forgot the ruling at home? The bail application? What was that? Then he said the senior advocate of Nigeria, because yeah, it's on our side, so we can't say nuisance anyway. So yeah. So one of the lawyers representing Dele Farotimi, who happened to be a son, according to the clown, he felt intimidated and said it barred him from speaking in his court. That lawyer cannot represent Dele Farotimi in his courts because he's high-ranking lawyer. You know, he shouldn't be coming into magistrate courts. So that created some drama earlier, briefly too. Imagine that. You are intimidating me. You are a senior advocate of Nigeria. You are not supposed to come to magistrate courts. This is a lower court. I was like, okay. Now they dragged that for a while. Then the next thing was this whole crowd. We don't feel safe. What do you mean you don't feel safe? These are the supporters of the person you have been holding down illegally here. They said, because outside was, like as you can see in that video, there were many people outside, as there were many people inside the courts, trying to see how they are making mockery of the supposed Nigeria judiciary, the same people who are supposed to protect the sanctity of the judiciary that they've messed up in that contraption. Then the guy man stood up and just went straight to his inner chamber. Like, what's going to happen now? Are you not going to make the ruling? Or are you going to adjourn again? He just ran straight into his inner chamber. And it was reported, by the way, that while he was leaving the court chamber, right? I mean, the court premise, when he was leaving the courtroom, he was receiving a phone call. Yeah, he was on a phone call, pretty much like his handlers were asking him, what is the situation? Any update? What's going on? So he went in there for a few minutes until probably he was assured that we are not here for you per se. We are here for Dele. And we want to know what is going to now be your excuse of not granting him bail for something that ordinarily you should never even have remanded him in prison. He should never have spent a day in prison. But we know the game. We know what is at play here. We know the script you are acting. But we just want to see what would be your excuse now. Would you just say, oh, I forgot the ruling at home, so I'm sorry, I'll see you people next week Monday, or I'll see you in January? What is going to be your excuse? We don't know. Until he came back and then started delivering his ruling on the bail condition, the bail. So he granted Dele Farotimi 30 million naira bail. That Dele Farotimi had to pay 30 million naira, submit his passport, and he must get 2 sureties in like sum. And one of the sureties must be somebody who has a house, a property, not just a house in Ekiti. And then Dele Farotimi must not grant interview on this matter. He must not talk to anybody about this case. He must not even talk about this. Dele Farotimi must not use social media. That's part of the condition. So Dele Farotimi can't tweet. He can't write anything on social media about Afe Babalola. That's what they say. He must not say anything about Afe Babalola. I told you that they were going to try and make sure that Dele Farotimi does not open his mouth, because that is what they fear most. They want Dele Farotimi's book, right? The sale of Dele Farotimi's book stopped, okay? And they want him to stop talking. But it is too late already. Dele Farotimi doesn't even have to say anything for now. Their actions and their inactions have already shown to us all we need to know. The book has exposed to us. In fact, people are now quoting Dele Farotimi's book. You know, some of his own quotable quote from his book. They're now quoting them now to what? To back up the shenanigans called Judiciary in Nigeria. So after all of that, they left the courtroom to the admiration of his new supporters, because now Dele Farotimi is not just a name in Nigeria, just so you know. He is now a worldwide figure, just so you know as well. So you're right, that's a gag order. And thank God for social media. Because ordinarily, right, if there was no social media, what that gag order, whatever it's called, would have done is to make Dele Farotimi pretty much like what they did to Gani Fawayimi, right? They made him almost a persona non grata. So the media in Nigeria, no TV station want to hear anything about Gani Fawayimi. No radio station want to, because they do not want to get sanctioned by the power that be. But thanks to social media today, where Dele doesn't have to say anything. He has said enough. His book has exposed enough. Okay, and today it is just them versus the rest of Nigerians in and outside Nigeria. So, in addition, it is reported that Dele Farotimi is expected to possibly leave the Ekiti magistrate prison there any time from now. The Obi, as a Peter Obi, as a volunteer, that's one of his sureties. You know, like he doesn't have to be from Ekiti, and he also doesn't really have to have a house in Ekiti. So he has already made that announcement, and I think they are perfecting that bail condition as we speak. And yeah, let the legal battle begins. So Dele Farotimi himself can now, at least this time around, compared to the last time when he attempted to sue Afe Babalola. So Dele Farotimi himself can now genuinely, right? He can now go ahead and sue Afe Babalola as well. So as you are suing him, he's counter-suing them too. And that's exactly what I expect the next line of action to be. But for now, yeah, as bullies as they are, because they are bullies, according to Dele Farotimi, said they are bullies who really, it's like the people who cut off people's heads, and then they do not want anyone to kind of play or bring a sword closer to their own neck, so to say. So they are bullies, okay? And the most they can do is what they have just done. The rest, like I said here many times as well, you see all these frivolous suits that they are launching left, right, and center. They will all disappear, die a natural death, as it should. So that is that on the charade, the judicial charade from that contraption. Also today, we have it on record that this guy, Bello, has, he has fulfilled his own bail conditions as well. 500 million naira. Those two sureties, 500 million naira each, and he has returned back to Kogi. Now he can go and enjoy his loot while the case continues to go back and forth and no direction as usual. This. As the man that stole over 110 billion naira from the Kogi State cover. Yeah, see how, they're in celebratory mood, so to say. There's this guy, Li Jetsu or something, a government official in China that was accused, or convicted of stealing $410 million. He mismanaged $410 million, which they believe he kind of like enriched himself through that process of fraud, okay? The guy has been executed a few days ago. He was convicted just about a week or so ago. And 2-3 days after that, he was executed. Somebody stole 110 billion naira in Nigeria. He is a celebrity in that contraption, right? But we are watching. So let's go a little bit to their National Assembly. And this is about their 2025 budget. You see, Hellrufai's son, who happened to, thank you, Latu, my lady, very much, thank you. So, Bello Hellrufai, the son to Kaduna Littlefinger, Hellrufai of Kaduna, his son has chipped in on what he believes should stop, and that is the duplication of supposed project in Nigeria budget by the ministries, agencies, parastatals, and other stuff, right? So in his words, you see, you can't be buying utensils, right, every year. You can't be buying cars every year. So therefore, sending budgets or in your budget or yearly budgets, putting it in like you're buying cars, you're buying this, that, same thing you bought last year, you're buying them this year again. That should stop in the face of the financial, difficulties that Nigeria is experiencing, right? Talking about the 2025 budget. Let's go to what the young man had to say.
Bello Muhammad, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Mohammed Bello Hellrufai. I represent the good people of Kaduna North. I'm from Kaduna State. Yesterday was a day of great privilege, and we thank the President and the Executive for laying the budget. Mr. Speaker, a lot of the things have been said already. I'll try to stick to time as quickly as possible by focusing on what I think is important. Recurrent capital is what is being discussed. Mr. Speaker, I want to ask again that this House remembers to compel the Executive to implement the Oronsai report. That's one. Two, we need to cut down on costs, Mr. Speaker. as you've rightly heard, the recurrent of various budgets.
Members need to be in this room to vote on this particular bill. So for those who are moving around, please sit to make sure you contribute in voting for this.
Can I go on, sir? Sir, the recurrent issue is in every budget, even a young person like myself. We budget for vehicles every year. We budget for utensils every year. So what I would like us to do, sir, to open more revenues or block loopholes, is to look at all these ministries that are bringing their budgets. If they bought vehicles last year, please, they should just relax now. Vehicles do not expire. These are the little things, Mr. Speaker, that unless we start looking at them, the loopholes we talk about will not come out. I want to thank the leadership for sessions like this and other experienced members. It's a learning opportunity. But on this, the Oronsai report, sir, should be implemented. It is key. That is one. The second and most important thing to me, since I was I'm still a young man, since I was a boy, budgets every year come with new computers, new furniture. These things don't expire, sir. We should cut them out totally. We can't be asking Nigerians. We can't have a tax reform bill that could shape the fiscal shape of this country. While as leaders, we are not cutting anything. So I urge the chairman, I'm honored, sir, that I chair a committee that has CBN, but my budget is not on here. But committee chairman that are more experienced than myself should look into this. Nigerians are tired of every agency buying fork and knife every year. We should show them we are serious and do these drastic cuts. I really trust the chairman of the Appropriations Committee, and I just thought to raise this issue. It's an opportunity to speak, and may God continue to guide us to do what's necessary for our people. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Nigeria should not buy fork and knife every year. And I'm happy that the chairman of appropriation, the deputy chairman of appropriation, they are here making notes. And I've been watching them, and I'm also making notes, because we will also go through the work done by appropriation to see if all these debates happening here and issues being raised here, they are captured. Because it's not garbage in, garbage out. Though that budget with good intention from Mr. President must be fine-tuned to reflect actually what he wanted to achieve by the time he conceptualized it. For Bello Muhammad.
The other mofo. Yeah, the young, what do you call the young terrorist? You know, because a snake can't born, a snake can't give birth to a rat. It will only give birth to another snake. Okay? And don't get deceived by his look. He's as hateful as, what do you call it? You know, sociopathic as his own father, the Hellrufai of Kaduna. However, he's right. Those things don't expire. But just know that for the talking's sake, that's why he made that. That won't change anything, because the people, the copy and paste budget that Tifnumbu presented, all right, already contained all the things that he is pointing out to say, well, maybe we shouldn't be buying utensils every year. They shouldn't be buying cars every year. But yeah, they are going to put it in there. Even if they are not buying cars or utensils every year, the money will still be put in there and it will still be shared. And Tifnumbu already submitted it. So whatever Tifnumbu submitted, all right, these are supposed to be what Tifnumbu scrutinized, which he didn't. To start with, he didn't. But it should have been what he scrutinized before bringing it to them for their passage. Abi? So the ministries, the departments, the agencies, all those places, right? These are supposed to be their own budget. They wrote the budget and Tifnumbu submitted it. So it's just a theatrical. If you ask me, it's pretty much a theatrical, like they're just acting. However, here is Waleoke. What's this guy's name again? Anyway, I'll show you his face soon. That one has a different opinion. He believes that Tifnumbu should borrow more money. That in fact, 47.9 trillion naira is a chicken change. Kind of right, in in his own way, okay? Because if you look at Nigeria is a very poor country, man. And unfortunately, right, the current expenditure, which is the money these guys allocate to themselves to take care of themselves. For instance, Tifnubu and Shitty, man, they are going to spend 9.4 billion naira in 2025 for food. Yeah, Tifnubu will spend 5.9 something billion naira to feed himself, his family, and all that in 2025. Hitman is going to spend 3.9 something billion naira also to feed himself. Both of them are going to spend about 14 billion naira to travel all over the world in 2025. You get that now? So if you take a look at what the recurrent expenditures, the recurrent expenditure is, and then what is the capital expenditure, right? It is like far, far, far apart, you know. But if you take a look at a South African budget, I want to use two countries now, okay? For example, the budget, Nigeria's budget, if you convert it with the devalued naira, if you convert it to dollars, it is somewhere around $28-29 billion, okay, for a country of 200 million people. For a country of about 60 million or so people, South Africa, their own budget is somewhere around $120 billion. If you convert their rand to dollars. And their population is like 1/3 or 1/4 of that of Nigeria. You know? So, but if you are poor, you're supposed to possibly just live within your means, the political class, but that's not what you have in Nigeria. They are living like, you know, like royals. That's how they are living in Nigeria, your criminal politicians. So when you put all of that together, you're like, they are taking more than half of the budget for themselves. And then the remaining half, or the remaining 30% for the whole country, they are still pretty much fingering it, you know, taking them, you know, stealing from it as well. But this guy believes that Tifnubu should borrow more money. Yeah, he should borrow more money, but he should plug the wastage, according to him. Listen.
Was a grant of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, I'm going to speak legislatively because the submission, Mr. President, is from the executive perspectives. Mr. Speaker, this budget is grossly inadequate. I say so because we need to address our minds to our status.
Did you say grossly inadequate?
Grossly inadequate.
That is, it's not enough.
It's not enough. We are talking about 32 billion and 23 billion dollars budget, which is just the cost of a project that links Nigeria to Senegal to Morocco, a pipeline. It's just one item to procure a project. It is grossly inadequate. I say so, Mr. Speaker, when you could consider Section 18 of our Public Procurement Act 2007, which bordered on needs assessment. Mr. Speaker, I will take you to Foreign Affairs, the committee I chair. Practical consideration of the needs assessment of missions of the headquarters of the agencies under Foreign Affairs, Mr. Speaker, is more than 2 trillion naira. And we are giving a patronage sum of 286 billion naira. Our missions are in courts in various nations.
Are you advocating for
Mr. Speaker, I want to urge
deficit budgeting?
No, Mr. Speaker, we have a lot of leakages in the land. If we had that straightly to Section 162 of the Constitution, you will see that we still have a lot of revenue that are yet to be collected. I don't have any problem with deficit financing. What is important is what are you doing with it? In our private lives, we take mortgages.
I wanted to say that again.
Sir,
you don't have problem with deficit?
I believe in deficit. I believe in borrowing. Mr. Speaker, I came from organized private sector. And I borrowed money in the past. And I've used it judiciously. And my children can see what I've done with it. So what is important, Mr. Speaker, is that when we borrow money, what are we doing with the money? Are we doing parties with it? Are we taking teas and conferences and seminars? Or we are embarking on infrastructural development? That generation unborn will come and say, yeah, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you've done well. So, Mr. Speaker, the point I'm making here is this. I've listened to the opinions, to the comments, observation by colleagues. And the beauty of democracy, Mr. Speaker, is that our rules, our constitution, has given us the room to tinker, to look at the submission of Mr. President and do justice to it. So, the Faleke-led committee finance, they need to really wear their thinking cap and look for all the money. We have the money. We have to do our work and block all the leakages, Mr. Speaker. Even in the tax arena, Mr. Speaker, we have not even collected the taxes. There are a lot of tax gaps. Mr. Speaker, if you look at our fiscal policies, look at Federal Ministry of Industry, look at capital allowances, a lot of people are manipulating our laws at our own detriment. So this parliament has a job to do. There is a motion, there's a referral, which report is set to be submitted to you, Mr. Speaker, to this House. It's about tax evasion. It's about tax evasion. A lot of companies, private sector, organized private sector, and while I agreed that it is the private sector that feeds government, that feeds the nation, and that we should provide an environment for them to thrive, to work, but at the same time, they should not harm us.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm happy that the chairman appropriation is well seated and is taking notes of the robust discussion.
You see, all of these will sound logical, but you cannot deal with the Nigeria issue logically. It defies all logic. They are just all talk. Okay? But yes, he just mentioned it. They are going to tinker with what Tinubu submitted. And by the time they are done, you are likely going to be having over 50 trillion naira. And like he said, there's nothing wrong in borrowing. Like Tinubu also said, similarly, there's nothing wrong in printing money. Only that we have to use it judiciously, like buying a private jet, buying a yacht, building, spending 21 billion naira in, renovating vice president's house, going on different, trip abroad. They had nothing to they had nothing to the economy. So all those talk, they are just like normal talk. Okay? It is the foundation for how they intend, right, to pad the budget. But yeah, he's right. Nigeria budget, if to see Nigeria is not dealing with thieves, Nigeria budget should be nothing less than $200-300 billion. A oil-producing country is having a budget of $23 billion, $25 billion. The economy is tanked, right? The currency is devalued, so devalued that people who are printing dollars are just printing papers to collect your resources. Your mineral resources. That's what they are doing. It's like you going inside there and bring out your printer and start printing money. And then you go and collect people's gold, crude oil and all that. Or maybe just give them, private jets, give them all those fancy stuff just by printing money out of the printer. And the criminals in charge of Nigeria, they are comfortable as long as they are getting their own, they're getting their cuts as it has always been. So Nigeria is such a poor country that some of you don't really agree. Because but that's how you know a very, very poor country. Because by the time you start sharing what they are leaving behind for you, you realize that you will not have any real money to provide their stable electricity. You have no real money to provide infrastructure. You have no real money to actually, improve the welfare of the people. There is no real money. And the more these guys goes out there to borrow and borrow, the more you face sorrow and sorrow. Go borrowing, they go borrowing, you go sorrowing. It is very simple. And yeah, it's also right if they would do it, cut cost in a way, but they won't. Did you see Tifnumbu in Lagos today and his convoy? No, that's how they live. They live like a prince. I mean, they live like a royalties, like royals. So Tifnumbu said they were going to cut down inflation from 34% or 35% down to 15%. How? Have you seen any massive, for example, like have you seen the government farms where they are currently planting like tens of thousands, or if possible, hundreds of thousands of hectares of land growing food that they are going to harvest next year? Are you seeing any investments in the power sector that will kind of stabilize your power sector or electricity generation and distribution in Nigeria in 2025 that will improve production and all that? Have you seen any? No, just word of mouth. So Tifnumbu told them that because all they would need to do is just to make an announcement like they did on the unemployment. They didn't create any new job, right? There is a record of businesses shutting down and leaving Nigeria. But these guys came around and said, well, there is no unemployment in Nigeria. In fact, Nigeria is battling with overemployment. All of you are employed. It's crazy because they believe they can doctor the figure and announce it that way. And that's it. The problem will be gone. That's not how it works. So here is the minority leader of the same house trying to shed a bit of a light on that. Like, that's impossible. Like, you don't just say that when we can't really see anything going on. There's nothing going on. But if Numbu and his gang, they will feed you with propaganda. So some of you will be wondering if they are talking about the same Nigeria that you are in. You'll get to that stage, right? They will be saying that Nigeria is so better now. Thank you so much, President Tifnumbu. He said he met a negative foreign reserve, the same foreign reserve that Bukwari handed $33 billion to him. And then he said that he has now saved enough in your foreign reserve that you now have $42 billion, which is a lie. But he said it boldly. He has been repeating that. There is no evidence of that. If you ask them, where did the money come from? Because you must make some money somewhere before you can put money and say, we have saved more money. So that means you saved $9 billion. But you did not save any $9 billion in the last 18 months. You have borrowed over $10 billion that we are aware of. That one is a fact. But Tifnumbu is telling these National Assembly clowns that the foreign reserve of Nigeria is now $42 billion. How come that hasn't reflected on your Naira? Because it's a lie. It is a lie. And that's how they are going to keep doctoring figures. And if you ask them about, they will call you the enemy of Nigeria. So the same way they are going to announce to you that inflation has dropped, you will see. Maybe by January or February now, they will tell you that inflation has dropped. I say, okay, how come the price of goods and services are not dropping? Because that's what inflation dropping means, but not in Tifnumbunomic, not in Tifnumbu's Nigeria, where they are lying to you and feeding you with propaganda enough that you'll be asking yourselves and say, are they talking about this Nigeria or another place? Right? Listen to this guy.
I very most humbly rise to speak on the 2025 appropriation. There is no doubt that our president was optimistic in the 2025 appropriation presentation. I also agree with those who have contributed that if the budget is implemented the way it is presented, that it portends something good for our country. But then we should not lose sight of the fact that this is a projection, and so the major questions we should ask are whether these projections are realizable and not to sweep it under the carpet that if it is realized. And for it to be realizable, we must look at indices that are on ground. As laudable as the budget may appear, but it also appears that our indices are not completely correct. And so it's not uhuru yet for us as a country. Now, if we take the specifics, which everybody has talked about here, some dancing over it, that we expect a reduction in inflation rate from 36.9 to 15%. That is too ambitious, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues. I don't see how we can achieve that. Even where we achieve the issues of security in 2025, does it follow that immediately the same year that we'll also achieve food security? The answer is completely no. If we achieve security in 2025, we expect fundamental improvement in food security perhaps the following year. But to continue to budget that we are going to achieve security for the country this 2025 and the same 2025 that we're also going to achieve food security is self-deceit. Now, if you also look at the provision for security, which is better than what we have provided before, and look at how much we have paid for ransom within 1 year, you will find out that merely what we are budgeting, it's just 50% more than what we have paid for ransom within the year. The implication is that we are still far from achieving it. As good as it may appear, the budget for security will not take us to the promised land. The revenue target, which we have also projected, is 36.36. And if you also look at the budget, you find out that the revenue sources remain the same, from oil, customs, taxes, and other duties that will be paid by citizens. My prayer and concern is that in achieving this revenue target, let us not overtax our people again. And so this revenue target of 36 might also be over-ambitious. We should be talking about expanding our sources of revenue. We should be talking about non-oil sector development for the country to earn more. And we should also be talking about, rather than increasing tax, but expanding the tax net. So I also have issues with this target. And then the budget deficit is another source of worry. The deficit still appears to be high. And so I do not see how every Nigerian in 2025 will not go to bed in an empty stomach with this kind of deficit in the budget. It is not possible. That was what Mr. President told us. We also look at the exchange rate. It is projected that we will have an exchange rate of 1,500 per dollar. How are we going to achieve that? Today we are talking about free market, that the exchange rate will be fixed by forces, economic forces. Yes, we ought to plan, but I think that we should look at those economic forces. We are dovetailing between 1,700 and 1,650. What are the things that will improve?
Leader, please can you quickly round up? You know we have only 2 minutes per...
Thank you, sir. Mr. Speaker, I'm speaking for the minority, sir.
No, but you cannot speak beyond the 2 minutes because we don't have 2 rules. The rule is for everyone. 2 minutes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Mr. Speaker, I like what I was saying is that the 1,500 exchange rate target, it's also not in line with reality. Now, the area of attention is said to be defense and security, infrastructure, education, and health. My question is, what about human capital development? which is very, very necessary. So I pray that in looking at this budget, honorable colleagues, before we finally pass this budget, we need to capture human capital development as part of our priority as a nation for 2025.
Please, whatever you are unable to speak on, pass the rest to any of our other members who will be given the opportunity to, so that he can continue from where he stopped.
Thank you, sir. Finally, let me just add that there is need for us to consider environmental sustainability. We cannot be planning on an increased daily output in the crude sector, which is the mainstay of the country, and then we also ignore environmental sustainability. We cannot also be planning on that high output without considering the corroded equipment that we still use as a nation, without considering the issue of oil theft, which is still there. So, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, in summary, what I'm still saying is that the budget we have received might appear very beautiful in its outlook, but there is much more for us to do as a nation. I still see it as the same document that we sit here every year to look at and pass. But it behoves us as parliamentarians to take a deep look into the budget and begin to look at those areas that we need to alter without just standing to dance and rejoice over the budget. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minority Leader.
They all know this, so, but right there is considered, indirectly is considered an enemy of progress. They want you to just believe that it is doable, it is possible, because we cannot let people know that this is unrealistic. Okay? Let's just know that, we heard you, it's okay, sit down. Because we have to continue to make people believe that data doesn't really matter. Hope is better. There is nothing God cannot do. In 1 year, one of the problems of Nigeria that has destroyed Nigeria is the problem of the terrorism. They attacked Nigeria's source of source of survivor, food. They attacked the farmers. In 10 years now, the Boko Haram, Fulani terrorists, ISWAP, and all of these terrorists, they have ensured that the Nigeria's capability of the capacity to produce your own food, grow your own food, has been destroyed totally. Nigeria is now at a stage where Nigeria can't really produce our own food anymore. Farms have been destroyed, farmers have been killed, and I'm talking about tens of thousands of farmers have been destroyed and killed, or most of them chased to far away into IDP camps. That the economy of Nigeria shrunk by more than 60% from $570 billion economy. Nigeria economy shrunk to 190 billion. Do you even understand what that means? It's like wiping off the wealth of 3-4 generations. And these terrorists are waxing stronger and stronger. The Nigerian defense is taking about 6 trillion of this budget. But rather than for the insecurity in Nigeria to reduce, it continues to be stronger, because it's like an industry now, where 2.23 trillion naira was paid as ransom in 1 year in 2024. December 2023 to December 2024, Nigerians paid 2.23 trillion naira as ransom. Over 600,000 of them were killed. 2.2 million Nigerians were kidnapped in 1 year. You are not growing your food, there is no chance. Nigeria is ranked among the countries that are going to face, serious food, starvation, so to say. There is nowhere you can say Nigeria is growing food somewhere. There's nowhere per se. So you have to depend on whatever is going to be imported, food grown by other countries to be given to Nigeria or bought. Somebody is telling you that they are going to cut down inflation. How? Because they will falsify the figure. That's how. And then they can go back and begin to pray. Yeah, they will be praying for peace, praying for progress, because there's nothing Allah cannot do. There's nothing God cannot do. Even if the data is in contrast or so contrary to whatever they are projecting, they will tell you to, oh, don't worry, just have faith. Let's pray to God. God can do anything. You know, there's no miracle God cannot do in a superstitious contraption like that of Nigeria. So hours, Lagosians spent hours today because Steve Nubu is in Lagos. That used to be a problem, you know. I mean, I remember when Isaleko Barack Obama, Ajangbadi, Albert Einstein, Fashola Holmes, when he was your governor in Lagos. I remember that it used to be a big thing. In fact, there was a time that armed robbers, you remember the armed robbery that took place in Lagos, and the armed robbers jumped into a boat in Lagos Island and they escaped through the, through the water. Remember that time? Fashola said it was because Goodluck Ebere Jonathan was in Lagos. That was why armed robbers escaped in Lagos. That used to be a problem, you know, but now it's no longer a problem. So Lagosians were subjected to hours of traffic jam today because Steve Nubu was in Lagos, you know, for hours. And he was going to Alausa in Ikeja to go and do Jumat, and also to visit his mother's, his late mother's adopted mother, in Ikeja as well. So let's go to Lagos and stop by. Meanwhile, while he was at Alausa, those clerics were there praying for, they were praying for Nigeria and praying for him. Because as if that is actually what will fix your economy, fix your insecurity. It is not.
Oh, Banana Island. Why the overkill? For one man. They are still coming out, yes. Let's wait. It's coming. Just can fit here. Oh yeah, come in.
Let me quickly come down to appreciate Your Excellency, sir, Mr. Governor, Governor Budgetary, Deputy Governor, sir, my right honorable speaker, I am not as well as you. Please allow me for the holiness of the mercy of Allah to put every other protocol on my names that I have mentioned. It is a delight to all of us to receive the Father of the nation, the masjid that he has left for us. I am very happy that he has made us even much more robust in people than he left. It's also an honor that he has chosen to come and say his divine prayer because not only has he done that, he has come with all of Nigeria to come and pray and with us this afternoon. Our prayer is not enough because it is not ceremonial. So to make a long list, we will not be repeating everything that we do. Nonetheless, we want to seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessing upon the administration of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. No human being can do it. Only Allah guides. Only Allah bestows power. The one who bestows ease with authority in the current field, may Allah never leave him. Even for one moment, may Allah continue to be your guide. May Allah continue to be your guard. May Allah continue to be your protector. May Allah continue to restore you with the wisdom of Sulaiman alayhi salatu wa salam, the servitude of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wa salam, the piety and leadership and holiness of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Everything put together in one. Nigerians are impossible. I don't mean that in the Bible. I mean it in the way that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam found the first community as a complex thing. The way that you are going to navigate this complexity, the Allah we made us a promise to try to live up to this promise, but it is not up to the strength where we are. Useful advice, constructive support that you will need to deliver the mandate the Allah is to come. Every prayer we make for you, we make for ourselves, because what happens to the leader of this nation is to the benefit and well-being of every citizen that is in your administration. But when you see a successful leader, look to his right, look to his left. He has good advice, he takes it. He has good advisors, he allows them. They don't shield him away from the truth. You have never been known to shield or be shielded away from the truth. There is no time for the shared a personal because we all know, because this is how we go where you have left us and we end up continue to surround you with people as interested in the progress of the nation, if not more than we do. We are trying to be positive, to see the positivity of the advice and make the best use. The people who you have given assignments, be them ministers, be them ambassadors, be them directors, one ambassador or the other, or all the other prime players of office, that you have given them an assignment to execute for you. May Allah, in His divine guidance, guide them to fulfill these duties successfully so that it can come around to meet the overall glory.
Banana.
So they were praying for him, and they were preaching of how he is your father of Nigeria, and all of that stuff. Anyway, let's leave Kolu for now, okay? Usually we kind of normally play where is the boring part is usually the starting point, but Oliver, a cappella who experienced, a cappella. I didn't even know that he's returned back to Nigeria. He's a comedian. So he was sharing his experience earlier today because of Chief Numbu's presence in Lagos.
Oh, but before I talk anything, even you see the way they sweat, have you know, Papa, see now? See the way they sweat now? Now God I take beg, I beg whoever designed Lagos poster, say 30 December, now God I take beg you. I beg design poster, post sold out. Baba post sold out, no space again, rough fool. Which one be safe for pressing house to estate gate just to come out for estate 40 minutes? How long I want to go where they go?
Anyway, again, away from Lagos, let's leave the Lagos and then the old trouble. I found something quite interesting in Edo State, or from Edo State. If you're from Edo State, right? I don't know if you have seen this. It seems there's a trend of hype men around your governor. Initially, I actually thought it was like a one-off. Okay, but I can't realize that it is not one-off. It's like a thing right now in Edo, right? So I saw one guy who made a video, right? It was, I don't know, it was practically like so, I don't know, I'm trying to find the right word. It's like he's so proud or starstruck when he saw the brand new Lexus SUV that Okpebolo drives. And I am like, okay, I read comments where I saw that video, and it was like a thing now in Edo State. Wherever Okpebolo goes, he goes with his hype man, and it wasn't a one-off, right? But the way they live.
No matter. Edo 001. Atu flagu, you want that? You want go G? A first class. Hey, Akpako. Edo 001. Two flag. You want go J? No matter. Oh, best son of Akpako. No matter. They cry now. Akpako. No matter. Akpako. Edo 001. Akpako. One they cry is in charge of Edo. No matter. Akpako is in charge. Akpako is in charge. Akpako is in charge. Edo 001. No matter. No matter.
So what is Akpako? Because I understand that there is a usual saying of knock them Akpako. Knock them Akpako. It's like not, hit them with a plank. So Akpako, is that a good thing? I don't know, somebody called him a mongrel. Anyway, he's a praise singer. But when I've seen about 5 or 6. I've seen quite a number of videos, right, of your governor, Monday Okpebolo. And there's always this praise singer. It's like it was like an official role. I used to see that when Benga Daniel was governor and Amosun was governor in Ogun State. There were these guys. They were always with handbell. Those handbell they use in those churches. Bagao. Oh, something like that. They will shout, bagao. That Benga Daniel is coming. Oh, Benga Daniel is coming. Oh, he's walking. The whole ground is shaking. All that kind of praise singers, right? I'm talking about grown-up men. People said that they are just like jobless political miscreants. So I just didn't kind of expect that to be a thing in 2024, but it be things. And to the people of, to the drivers in those states, they are not finding it funny. It seems that the fear or the wars that they fed around it, during the time of Obaseki, right, that they believed they were going to, if APC come back to rule Edo State, it's going to be the return of political thugs, Agbirus, to be precise. And it seems that is already happening. I saw them protested yesterday against this taxation by the APC Agbirus, taxing them, extorting them. So these drivers, these were supposed to be the drivers, people who actually wake up every morning to go to their work place or places, right, to earn their living. But some political miscreants just go there and extort them, and they are increasing the rate of that extortion right now. And it is not going down well with them. They are not finding that comfortable. But you in Edo State yesterday.
Which is national, they follow us the fight. Now we come meet our president, which is on we president. Make you help us come meet our mayor, what will be the problem? What will we do? What will we do? We're not going to see our game. What are going to give us? They give us problems. They give us money. They don't give some of our drivers. They don't collect most of us some hand as we talk. So they don't make it avail. Now we want. We're not going to grow. We're not going to
We went there with our driver for a park.
Yes.
We did drive for a park. Each of everybody get branch, everybody get ready for the open park. This morning, national you come out and say what could they collect 1.5 for drivers hand.
How much did they pay before?
When driver and we come, when governor give order and we now 100 and now they pay.
Yes.
But when they surprise, then I say national you come out today, they say we must pay 1.5. Now of course say no, we know if we pay. Now it's okay, we'll come meet our president, we'll come cry meet me help us tell governor, we don't know where national for come. 1,000 naira, 1.5.
Okay.
They even remove some chair for Isa motor this morning. Right. So now with the protest say we not go pay, we not go pay.
All right.
Now what happen?
All right. Well done.
Imagine that from 100 naira to 1,500 naira, Abba, in that Nigeria economy, where they have to pay 1,200, 1,100 naira per liter of petrol. Abba. Even myself, I was like, oh, man, that's like 1,500%. So the person where they can go, they go meet me, go help them talk to Okwebolo. Happen to be like, APC appointed. So they are the ones behind it. So it's like crying in front of the people that will never say sorry to you. You get what I mean? That's what it sort of look like. Now talking about transportation, the cost of that. Do you know that currently Dangote Refinery is running a promo, a bonanza. It's called the Seasons Bonanza. Okay, so Dangote Refinery is selling its own liter of petroleum at 899 naira 50 kobo. That's like 900 naira anyway, but yeah. But if you are willing to buy a minimum of 2 million liters, you get that now. So right now they are doing the promo, and if you have let's say 2 billion naira, if you have 2 billion naira, you may go into business with Dangote Refinery now. They will give you 2 million liters at 899 naira 50 kobo. That is not in. The logistic is not included. So what I mean is that by the time you have the logistics and your own profit, it's still not going to reduce what people pay at the pump, at the pump. Because at the end of the day, you are still going to be buying a liter for maybe 1,015 naira, 1,100 naira. or more. You know, but he's doing a promo, and that's 2 million liters is like 1.8 billion. Is it 1.8 billion? Yeah, 1.8 billion naira. So with 200 million naira, you can possibly like move the 2 million liters all over Nigeria logistically, and that's like 2 billion. So you could make, possibly you can make up to like 100 or 150 million naira profits if you get an extra. It's also giving out, like if you buy 2 million liters, you can also take 2 million liters on credit. You know, the NNPCL, right, are claiming that they gave Dangote $1 billion. They took a loan, right? They took a loan. The loan that they claimed they gave to Dangote. I don't even know what that means, right? So Dangote had to issue that statement on the left. Okay. According to them, they said, we are addressing the NNPCL's misinformation. So we have received numerous inquiries from the media and other concerned stakeholders seeking clarification on a recent report attributed to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited that their decisions to secure a $1 billion loan backed by its crude was instrumental in supporting the Dangote Refinery during liquidity challenges. So NNPC claimed that Dangote had liquidity. That means Dangote needed money. And to support Dangote, they decided to go and take a loan of $1 billion. And they now use crude oil as collateral. So Dangote is now saying, no. You guys said you would need, you will give us money to buy shares. But let me read it. It said, we would like to clarify that this is a misrepresentation of the situation, as $1 billion is just about 5% of the investment that went into building the Dangote Refinery. Our decision to enter into a partnership with NNPCL was based on recognition of their strategic position in the industry as the largest off-taker of Nigerian crude, and at the time, the sole supplier of gasoline into Nigeria. We agreed on the sale of a 20% stake at a value of $2.76 billion. Of this, we agreed that they will only pay $1 billion, while the balance will be recovered over a period of 5 years through deductions on crude oil that they supply to us and from dividends due to them. If we were struggling with liquidity challenges, we wouldn't have given them such generous payment terms. As of 2021, when the agreement was signed, the refinery was at the pre-commission stage. In addition, if we were struggling with liquidity issue, this agreement would have been cash-based rather than credit-driven. Unfortunately, NNPCL was later unable to supply the agreed 300,000 barrels a day of crude oil. Wait. Is that to confirm what I have repeatedly said on this platform? Even though severally, Tinubu ordered that they should go ahead and give Dangote Refinery 300,000 barrels a day crude oil, remember? And I kept telling you that that's a lie. It is a lie. It's propaganda. NNPC don't get 300,000 barrels of crude oil to give to anybody because they've used most of it as collateral for loans that they have expended or stolen. The loans that they can't tell you what they use the money for. So is that Dangote confirming that again? Right? I think they just confirmed it. See that line? They said they were unable to. See, unfortunately, NNPC was later unable to supply the agreed 300,000 barrels a day of crude oil, given that they had committed a greater part of their crude cargoes to financiers with the expectation of higher production, which they were unable to achieve. You hear that? So we subsequently gave them a 12-month period for them to pay cash for the balance of their equity, given their inability to supply the agreed crude oil volume. NNPCL failed to meet this deadline, which expired on June 30th, 2024. As a result, their equity share was revised down to 7.24%. These events have been widely reported by both parties. It is therefore inaccurate to claim that the NNPCL facilitated a $1 billion investment amid liquidity challenges. Like all business partners, NNPCL invested $1 billion in the refinery to acquire an ownership stake of 7.24% stake. That is beneficial to its interests. NNPCL remains our valued partner in progress, and it is imperative for all stakeholders to adhere to the facts and present the narrative in the correct context to guide the media in reporting accurately for the benefit of our stakeholders and public. So they continue to deceive you, especially to those of you who don't like the truth, because the truth makes you uncomfortable. You know, lies makes you comfortable. It's so good to have a comfortable lie than uncomfortable truth, okay? And I am going to continue to do my own bit just to point to the facts in all of this. Under Bokwari, okay, under Bokwari, nearly $10 billion of Nigeria money was given to Dangote to complete its supposed refinery. But now they are claiming that no, the only money given to them was $1 billion, which was supposed to be converted to 7.24%. But mind you, when they were building this Dangote Refinery, it was the European banks that were supposed to give Dangote €6 billion loan. Then coronavirus happened. The banks couldn't give Dangote the money. They managed to give him up to €3.5 billion at the time. Then the money stopped. So was the construction of his refinery. But Bokwari and his gang, through Emefiole, facilitated the supply of funds to Dangote Refinery. This is not NNPCL jargons that he's talking about. Too. However, on the day of 4 days before Bokwari's tenure ended last year, Bokwari, Emefiole, and so many others assembled at Dangote Refinery in Lagos, where Emefiole publicly said the refinery that was yet to produce or refine 1 teaspoonful of crude oil, that Dangote had paid back over 70% of the loan. This is just so that all the documents that will point to how much Nigeria money was actually given to Dangote was already cleared in the Central Bank of Nigeria. And I bet that was what Tifnubu and his gang were looking for in Dangote Refinery or Dangote office in Lagos when they raided the office early this year. I don't know if you remember that. So you see all of this now. Nigeria was supposed, that Dangote Refinery, right? Nigeria was supposed to have at least 50% or 45% stake in that place. But because of their shady abracadabra deal behind the scene, they've written it off. So the only one they're probably unable to write off, right, is that because that part of the deal was that Dangote Refinery will be receiving 300,000 barrels of crude oil every day. That was supposed to be 300,000. That was supposed to be like about 9 million. Yeah, that was supposed to be like about 9 million barrels of crude oil every month for Dangote. Okay. But the same Bokwari that made the deal already used this allocated portion of their own crude oil from the IOCs, international oil companies, the real people that are drilling your oil, okay? So they were giving Nigeria 350,000 barrels every day as Nigeria's allocation, so that Nigeria can use that as a feeder to for their own refinery, local refinery, since they have the Nigerian refineries have been already killed. So it was easier for them to just use it as a collateral to take money. Part of their financiers is this Afrexim Bank. Afrexim Bank provided about $4 or so billion for Bokwari's government when Bokwari was there. I don't know how many barrels of crude oil that was pledged to Afrexim Bank,
You see these shady things that they did under Bokwari that should ordinarily have seen people are sent to the gallows. This is not like a jail. They are supposed to be sent to the guillotine where they are supposed to kind of be standing or waiting to be killed. Yes, for their crime against Nigeria. It's so shady, it's so dark that this Dangote himself should have been arrested and possibly be waiting for the electric share for the economic crime that they perpetrated against Nigeria. So you see this 1 billion or no 1 billion that they are talking about now, probably it's the leftover. So the NNPCL claimed that they took a loan to give Dangote the 1 billion. Dangote said, no. This was your pledge. You were supposed to give me 1 billion. And at the same time, you were supposed to also be giving me 300,000 barrels of crude oil every day. Now you are unable to give me that. So therefore, the 20% stake, they reduced Nigerian stake from the money Nigeria gave to Dangote. It was, like I said, it was supposed to be like about 45% of Dangote Refinery owned by you, Nigerians. It was supposed to be owned by you. But because of the abracadabra, they cut it down to 20%. Now the 20%, as he explained in that letter, they were supposed to be giving Dangote 300,000 barrels of crude oil every day. Since they are unable to do that, and they gave them time to fulfill that pledge, and they couldn't. So by the end of June 2024, Dangote now came out and said, well, yes, we got your $1 billion, but you didn't give us $1 billion as because we have problem of money. No. You gave us that $1 billion. We don't know whether you borrowed the money or not. We don't know. But you gave it to us, and it was meant to be an investment, buying shares. Now that you are unable to give us the rest of agreement, which is the 300,000 barrels of crude oil every day, we no longer have any deal other than give you what the value of your $1 billion in shares in our investment. And that value is now 7.24%. That is the value of your shares. No, you did not give us any loan or anything. I mean, you know what I mean? So anyway, Shah, whatever that means to you, because it doesn't really have to make any sense to you anymore. You have already been scammed, and the criminals who scammed you they've smiled to the bank. So leftover right now is just to keep you entertained. It's unbelievable. Okay, so if you have a chance of APC losing power in Nigeria, or a revolution takes place and a proper probe is launched, Dangote, Bokwari, Emefiole, Tifnubu's adopted nephew, Wale Tinubu, the one that is the owner of Wando, right? All of them. Not only that, they will go to jail. They will line them up, okay, to be executed for the crimes against economic crimes, which is treasonable felony, economic crime against Nigeria. You see, the economic hitmen that you think they are Oyibos, they are not just Oyibos. So these are the economic hitmen in Nigeria, the people that are actually, right, economically killed Nigeria. You're supposed to be wealthier than that. That place was supposed to be better than that, but it's been hijacked by criminals, right? Unfortunately. Talking about criminals, I'm going to stop by in... thank you very much, the African Wahala. Listen, if you are still with us at this moment, kindly do us that favor. Like the broadcast, okay? Like it. I mean, if you are enjoying the gist or the expose, right? Just like the broadcast. It is the least you can do, okay? Like the broadcast. We are over 1,500 right now on YouTube, so that should count for something, right? So let's go to Delta States, where Bright Edafe has some message for us from those who stole a whole luxurious bus. To be, like Omo. They will steal your car in Nigeria, right? There are places that once they steal your car, and your car is taken to these places, right? You will never see the car again because they will pieces it, they will break it into parts. I just don't know how it's going to be convenient for people to steal a whole luxurious bus. How many days is it going to take you to break it apart? Well, unfortunately, before this ones could do that, still right, which is a funny line of interrogation as this to show to us. Please, let's go to Delta, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm SP Dafe Bright from Delta State Police Command, and as you can see, we are at Ekpan Police Station in Nubia local government area. Today we'll be parading 5 suspects. These suspects, their role this time is so unique because one would wonder how they managed to steal this kind of luxurious vehicle. Complete luxurious vehicle that belongs to young Shagro. What did these guys do? One of them worked with young Shagro in the past as a panel beater, and according to him, by the time he finished and gained his freedom, young Shagro did not retain him, hence he left. He now said he has been monitoring where they park their vehicle in Abia State, and he knows of the fact that they don't usually lock their doors and they always leave the key at the ignition of the vehicle. Hence, he contacted the driver and told the driver what to do, how to move the vehicle to Warri in Delta State, where they contacted some scrap dealers who were supposed to buy the vehicle and butcher it and sell it in parts. However, just 2 weeks ago, the DPO Ekpan, in his usual proactive way of policing, summoned these scrap dealers and warned them that on no account should they buy any vehicle without the proper document. Hence, if they are caught getting involved in stolen vehicles, especially the one snatched at gunpoint or vehicle moved from where park, they will be made to face the law. When they got there, that was what prompted those scrap dealers to insist on receipt and vehicle particulars of the said vehicle. To cut the long story short, they were caught due to our intelligence gathering and the information we got, where they were moving into a bush in a certain location where they would have been able to butcher this vehicle without anybody knowing. They were intercepted and we arrested 5 of them. We'll be interviewing them now so that members of the public too can hear from them. What is your name?
Michael Odubo.
Okay, I wanted to call you my friend, but if I call you my friend, our audience will say, why am I calling a suspect my friend? But you are my friend now. So we don't talk now, we don't be friends.
Thanks.
Okay, you are Michael, you are from where?
Bayelsa State.
Bayelsa State.
Southern Ijo.
Okay, Southern Ijo. Just tell the public what you told me earlier on, why you are here. Just tell us why you are here.
Okay, why I'm here is because of this vehicle.
Okay, what happened to the vehicle?
As last week when I went to Aba to buy market, so I now saw this vehicle already before I called this driver that there's a vehicle here. Let us look if we can get to Warri.
Like I told you, I am managing my time. Don't give me no long story. Okay. I'm listening.
So I just called him. He now drove the motor out and called
me. You drive the motor. The motor. He came to drive the motor as your motor Abi as waiting.
No, because we plan to go and sell it.
Okay. This motor belongs to which company?
Young Shagro.
Young Shagro. How did you know Young Shagro? Have you worked with them before?
Worked with them.
How many years?
About 8 years ago.
8? No, not 8 years ago. How many years did you work with them?
I worked with them 8 years.
As what?
Parabisa.
Okay, so you said, how did you know that it would be easy for the driver to move this vehicle?
No, they used to leave key in the ignition.
So Young Shagro usually leave key in the ignition?
Yes.
Okay, but you didn't confirm if the key is there. You are just sure that the key will be there?
Yes, I just.
So from where did they move this vehicle?
Aba.
From Aba to where?
To Warri.
Okay, to Warri. So what was your intention?
We plan to go and sell it.
Sell it, okay. So if una sell, how much una want to sell am?
5-6 million.
So you wanted to sell this luxurious vehicle like this for 5 million naira. If now you build down, if now you buy this vehicle, somebody carry and say one go sell and still and say one go sell am 5 million, how you go feel?
I'm not happy.
You're not going to be happy. Yes. When you say you successfully sell am 5 million, you would have been happy.
Yes, sir.
You would have been happy.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, now when you got to where you want to sell, what happened? Why come they didn't buy it initially?
They said they need the paper. They don't buy it. Yes.
And there's no paper in the vehicle?
No, sir.
Who the paper they with?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No,
you're supposed to be with the owner of the vehicle. Now, why didn't you call the owners of the vehicle that you have stolen their vehicle, you want to sell it, but you need paper to sell it?
I can't call them, sir.
But that day they said you made one phone call requesting that they should bring the paper for you. I mean, a fake phone call.
He's the one framing what is to frame.
Okay,
yes,
okay.
It's his own personal issue.
Okay, he just won't set you up.
That is his own pattern.
Okay, okay. You know, you never made that call.
No.
Okay, who did you contact to look for buyers? Or who you contact when you go help and sell the motor before?
When we call this man. This man now call this man.
This man, what did this man name?
He's selling cattle. I don't know his name. I've not seen him before.
Okay, now I call this one.
Yes, sir.
This one they sell wetin?
This one they sell cattle.
Cattle?
Yes.
When do you consider cattle and vehicle?
We just call him to look for somebody.
Okay.
And we told him it's okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. What I want members of the public to know is that there is no gain. There is no gain in criminality. That is just the truth. At one point or the other, you will get caught. Avoid cheap means of getting money. Imagine these young guys, elderly man among them, wants to do away with a luxurious vehicle like this for 5 million naira. I was made to understand that only the engine of this vehicle is 30 million. But somebody who wanted to rip from where they not so want to sell it for 5 million. Thank God for the proactiveness of the DPO to see that he advised those scrap dealers to stop buying vehicles without receipt and vehicle particulars. This vehicle belonging to Young Shagro would have been gone by now. Secondly, avoid leaving your ignition in the vehicle. You leave the key at the ignition and say, oh, nothing dey happen. See, something can happen. That is the truth, because police cannot be everywhere at the same time. Police yourself so that it will be easier for us to police you. Thank you and God bless you.
Daffy bright. It's like using one stone to kill two birds, right? We can see the level of or the kind of crime people are, perpetrating in that place. And then you can also see the awkwardness in the line of questioning of the supposed law enforcement. So to have an idea, the level of a degenerate or degeneration in that contraption and the degenerates running it. Bright till bright. Anyway, it's good that they are caught. And for everyone who is involved in crime, it is better they are caught. I always believe that Nigeria is a place where dog eats dog. It's an unbelievable place. To the point that those that will join you to condemn bad behaviors, to condemn criminalities, majority of them are thriving in crime themselves. It's always good whenever they are caught and exposed this way. They also help the supposed society to be wary of the society they live in, which is why I love on the side, I love the expose that comes from that guy, Bright Still Bright. There's so much to unpack from whatever he shares with us every now and then. Yesterday, I shared in part the NAFDAC's invasion of the market in Abia State, where they are producing fake drinks. I didn't show you everything. Tonight, I am bringing you the second part of that invasion. Yesterday is mostly of the fizzy juice we shared, like milk. No, sorry, no, milk is not fizzy juice, but like, a juice like Fanta, Sprite, Coca-Cola, and all those normal fizzy juice, as well as milk and all those stuff that were pretty much like a fake. Some of them expired products that were being sold to the unsuspecting public. What about those of you that usually love to flex the moment you have some money and you are just burning or cooking your internal organs, your kidney, your heart, your liver, and all that without knowing. So when we see expose like this, I hope they kind of help you to understand the danger that you are exposed to. As much as you are trying to escape, kidnappers,
Madrose, police, military, and all these guys with guns. There are others that's your money, right? Could also expose you to health-wise what you consume. So fake drugs, fake drinks, fake this, fake that. In that contraption, people making blood money. They call themselves a businessman. Take a look at this.
See what they are packaging here.
There is this N30.
Yes, now you see all the fake that they are doing here. My God. This is Jackson. Jensen. See, amo. From the same source. All this expensive wine from the same source. From the same source. This is a Zuku market. See how they filter. See, look at their filter. This is the funnel.
Just no, when you decide those ones, you can just
from the same source. You get white horse from the same source. From the same source. From the same source. No, not just few. Then we'll destroy this one. This is their cocking. See their cock. See, all the cocks.
See, just the two cocks here. That's what I'm doing.
The colorant. This is their ethanol. This is their ethanol. You can hear the smell. You can hear the smell. I told you, these people got hints. They left this morning. They produced it this morning.
I consuming ethanol. Or more chemical. That's some level of witchcraft too, I tell you. And those are the ones they found. About many of them that, I mean, did you see the environment as well? It's always dirty. I mean, if you see where they are producing fake drinks, even abroad, if you ever see any, they're still going to look like legit. They're going to look like original, you know, they're going to look clean. You're going to see them in their different labs. They are going to have all this mask on and all that. I mean, I've seen few, even though it's so rare. But when you look at where they are making fake drinks, consuming before people are consuming in Nigeria, it's always filthy. It's always dirty. I mean, places where ordinarily, right, the environment, the dirt and all that will already contaminate what they are filling up for you to drink. So it is just like combination of God knows maybe 1,000 problems or 1,000, poisons, different kind of bacteria and all of that, combined together that will kill you. Eh? I mean, you're supposed to be making a lot of money making fake drinks, right? But have you ever seen anywhere they are making fake drinks in Nigeria whenever they are discovered? And they are not dirty looking places. Imagine you drinking something that they are using gutter water, drainage water to mix up for you, and you are consuming that as a big man. You're doing naming ceremony. See, back in the days, right? This is a joke, and it's not really a joke. It's pretty much a reality too, right? Back in the days, when you give our ancestors, gods, when you give them original shinap, you ask them to do something, they will do it sharp, sharp. But these days, ancestors say, no, they answer anybody anymore. You know why? Because you don't go give them fake drink, fake aromatic shinap, fake Chelsea, fake this and fake that, all these fake gins, fake drinks. And ancestors got to be like, say, you the wine, how dare you give us a fake drinks and you expect your request to be answered or to be approved. And you don't know, you're like, all these our ancestors know they answer prayer anymore. They know they even they answer request anymore. How can they answer requests when you are giving them ethanol instead of giving them a original shinap? I think that contributes to how everything just propagate in that country. I remember when I was growing up, okay, and this is true life story, okay. We had problem of kidnappers. We call them gbomogbomos. Now the gbomogbomos, they stole, they kidnapped a girl, and this girl's mom, she happened to be a hairdresser. Morally, in Odogbolu. Now, people just said, you know what? In Odogbolu, we have this shrine. It is called Eshu, Erelu. There was this old woman. I used to kind of go to her place to eat. So she had this shrine, which is very close to the Odogbolu's motor park. Okay, so she built a small place for the issue, it's like a issue in that place. Now, if anyone gets kidnapped in Odogbolu, that's why we never get kidnapped. All those bombers, right? We never really experienced that in Odogbolu. But you see, I was a little boy, so they kidnapped this girl, and they told the mother that they need to go and give a Erelu, like So they needed to go and give a they needed to give a shurelu shinap and a cock, that's a male fowl. And that the kidnappers will return the child. About true to it, original shinap. They gave it to a shurelu, they gave the cock. All you have to do is just go and drop it there. About 2 days after, this girl just walked back to the town. Man, that even sounds so stupid, by the way. Some things that if we are actually allowed to probe them so much, right, they don't make any sense. Anyway, they made sense then. And when the girl came back, the girl said, there was this woman, a very, very big woman, right? That just, while they were taking her away in a car, this big woman just appeared in front of the car, okay? And the car wouldn't move. And the woman told them that they should return the girl back to where they took her. Return her back to where you took her. Until they returned her, so they just dropped her at Odogbolu Junction. And they drove away. That was how the girl returned. So everybody just said, I do well, we should, I do well. But if I come to think of it right now, The young girl possibly just somewhere with a boy, right? And in order to cover the shame, they just said she was kidnapped. There was no phone, there was nothing to know where she was. Or she claimed that she was rescued by the Eshurelu, and it was because they gave Eshurelu what you can call original schnapp. These days now, and you see, I am from Ogun State. It's a place where people go missing really, really well. People go missing where, to take people and hypnotize them and all that, and they take them away. But now that I'm actually older, I feel like, no, they didn't kidnap the girl. The girl was pretty much like possibly just followed a boy or somebody, and she was with someone for two days. And in order not to sound like a bad, or to be a bad girl, they had to go with the story that she was kidnapped, because we were all worried already. The whole town was worried that she was kidnapped, and they had to do something to make sure that she was returned. She was coming back from school, and that happened. Then there's another story, right? There was a man, a very old man, Agbaje. Is the man? It was the man that usually, make the king's announcement for us in the town. Okay, if you grew up in a village, you know this kind of people. The one that goes about with a gong, all right, to tell the whole community a message from the king. Like, hey, tomorrow, 10 p.m., everybody should go to bed early, because we are going to do some rituals and sacrifices. We don't want anybody to be outside, blah, blah, blah. Those kind of people. Or tomorrow or next Thursday, we are, So Agbaje was a very old man, and he's not just any old person. Then on his way to his farm, he got kidnapped. Yeah, a very old man got kidnapped, and he didn't come home that evening. So his family raised the alarm, and automatically it was believed that he was kidnapped. So we had to quickly rush to Eshurelu again. Okay, this is something very symbolical in my town. The rush to Eshurelu again. We called on Eshurelu to please bring back Agbaje, bring back Agbaje. Anybody, About 2-3 days later, true story, true life story. 2-3 days later, Agbaje just walked back into the town. Lubata. Yeah, just walked back to the town. A little bit disoriented. He said, what happened? He said he was kidnapped. But something appeared when they were taking him away. Something appeared, and that thing continued to return him back home. So now that I am also older, I'm not trying to demystify the myth. You get about common sense. He was a very old man, and possibly had Alzheimer's, or is it called Alzheimer or dementia. Got disoriented, lost in the forest for 2 days. Then finally found his way around. He was a very old man. I'm talking about a man of like about 80. Very old man. At the time. So maybe just got disoriented and all that, and finally just lost in the forest, found his way after a day or two, and he just went with the story. I was kidnapped. And he walked where everybody just felt like, thank you, Eshurelu, thank you very much. To the point that in my hometown, the hometown that produced very, very prominent people in Nigeria, including the former supposed vice president of Nigeria, Oladipo Podia, but it's still pretty much so underdeveloped that people believe that it was the Eshurelu that is preventing a bad thing to happen to my hometown, and at the same time, it's also the Eshurelu that is preventing good thing to happen too. That's why we are not so developed. That is why we don't have, we've never benefited from the, fact that we've produced amazing individuals in different fields all over the country, all over the world. But they just don't remember the time to come and do something nice for us or fix our, you know what I mean? So I grew up with all of this myself, and talking about giving fake drinks to these supposed deities, could be a reason why those things don't work anymore. But you don't have to believe me. The most important thing is that fake products like that actually kills more than those who carry guns and all of that, or kidnappers, because they are silent killers. They destroy your health slowly, right? And then they take away your loved ones. That is supposed to be a national emergency in that place, because they kill people slowly and people don't suspect, you know. It's unfortunate. So finally, again, tonight, I saw, I don't know if we should call this impatient or just one of Nigeria's madness. People who came to Port Harcourt in a flight, which is the Airpeace flight. They were supposed to be alighting, and those who were leaving Port Harcourt were supposed to be boarding. I don't know what went wrong here. This video is viral as we speak. Watch this. Maybe you have an answer. You will have an answer. That is Nigeria. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for your time this evening. And yes, welcome to the weekend. It's Friday, okay? I am going to call it a night, and I'm going to see you again tomorrow. So we shall have more updates on the process of releasing, Barrister Dele Farotimi, the man that has stepped on the toes of those who believe they are untouchable, the man that has now unveiled what many were afraid to even talk about. He has unveiled the rot in the judiciary of Nigeria, and that's why people should stop asking for justice this, justice that, because justice is sold. Therefore, justice is dead in that contraption. So until then, right, stay safe, and thank you for joining me this evening. Enjoy the rest of your evening or night. Good night, everyone.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Mayegun dayari politico. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari láyé bí nọ́mbà wá. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. ṣọ́ra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bíjó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ ṣọ́ra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lérí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.